this week we're looking behind the scenes, I guess you could say, of our logo. Well, not our. My mom's logo. Name. LuJoy purses and such. or LuJoy, which I don't know if I'm pointing directly at it.
You are.
Okay. That. And, yeah.
This week I'm going to tell you what is behind the name LuJoy. It actually is a name that has a lot of meaning to me, and there is a story behind it, so I thought I would share. So what do you have any idea what it means?
I know what one part is about it.
What?
Lou. The Lou part.
Is what?
So, my sister Layla, she was a really small kid.
She wasn't even one yet.
She wasn't even one. Her nickname, I think, was Lulu. And then the Lou part, L-U, that's where it comes from. And,
yes, when I started sewing, Layla she couldn't even roll over or crawl, and there was this toy that she really liked. It was, one of those baby toys where you lay on the mat, and then it has, like, two things going like this and toys hanging down, and it played music, and the song that it played was Lulu, Skip to My Lou, and she loved that song. She loved that toy. She wanted to be under it all the time. Every time the song was done, I had to start it over. It just made her really happy, so I started calling her Lulu. And she was around that age when I started sewing too. So, do you know what the joy is?
Because she liked this song so much, she was joyful.
Shamey.
What?
That's not right. Okay, so I started sewing when Layla was not even one yet. She was the best sleeper I've ever met. Well, Jack was the second best sleeper when he was a baby, but Layla slept
I cried all night.
a minimum of, after he got over that.
I'm just like...
Jack had ear infections for the first 6 months of his life, but this video is not about Jack, is it?
No!
Okay, so, what was I talking about? Oh, okay, yes. She was the best sleeper ever for a baby. She slept through the night at 6 weeks old, 12 hours a night, took 2 naps at least a day. So I was actually a new mom who was bored. No, and also my husband Jay at that time was an over-the-road truck driver. So he was gone for weeks at a time. So it was me and Layla. She was sleeping all the time, and I was bored. So one day, I remember I got out a sewing machine. I'd never had any interest in sewing before, ever. I got it out. She was asleep. Jay was probably driving. I don't know where he was going then, but the farthest he ever went was down to Florida, I think. It was like a 2 or 3 week trip. But I digress. I got the sewing machine out, and I just started sewing fabric together, and I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. So then I went to get more fabric, and I think the first thing I ever made was a purse.
That's why it says handcrafted handbags, purses, and more.
Okay, so the sewing machine, like, you might be wondering, if you weren't interested in sewing, why did you have a random sewing machine in your house, right? Well, my dad's mom, whose name is Joy, if you see where this is going, when she passed away, you stop.
Yes.
Thanks. When she passed away, I acquired her sewing machine somehow. And I kept making purses. That was my first thing that I found out I liked to make. I'd post them on Facebook, and I have like the most supportive family and friends out there, and they loved them. And they loved them, and people ordered them. I think my mom's mom, she had a different purse for every day of the month. She bought from me, Gigi did. She loved them. My mom always had them. Family, aunts, cousins, everybody was buying my purses. It's like, even when I think about it, it's still touching how supportive everyone was. There seemed to be enough interest, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to start a business. This is fun. I've got time. I'm a stay-at-home mom.
And money.
Well, not then.
Because you guys were broke.
So I thought, I'm going to make a side business out of this. Or a business, I guess, because what would it have been on the side of?
Your butt.
So it was time to pick a name, and I'm like thinking, okay, so my first full-time job is taking care of Layla, Lulu. And then I got the sewing machine from my grandma, but her first name was Joy, so I thought, all right, let's put together LuJoy. So I did, and that's been the name ever since then.
For about 14 or 15 years, nobody knows.
What? So that's the story behind it. My grandma never even actually knew that I started sewing on her old sewing machine. I actually still have it, even though it's broken. I beat that thing. I sewed on that thing day and night. It's broken. I have some pictures of my grandma. I'm going to try to insert them at the end of this video.
And that's how...
So that's how the name came about.
I know what, you know what I realized about the name?
What?
Backstory? Is that it doesn't have to do anything with boys.
Nope.
Look in the
Do you have any questions? Can you think of anything?
Why did you only use one Lou instead of two Lou's? Because LuJoy.
Because I just thought that sounded weird.
LuJoy? LuJoy!
So unfortunately, my grandma never got to meet my kids. My grandma and Layla both love to read. They really would have enjoyed that about each other.
What you
No,
didn't
my
feature-
grandma used to bring me to, there was a bookstore called Little Professor Bookstore. One of my favorite memories. She would take me there, brand new bookstore. And she would say, all right, you can pick out a stack of books this high. And she would sit down and watch me pick out books. And my grandpa would be sitting by the fire they had in the bookstore reading his paper, and he would fall asleep every time. We'd have to go wake him up when we were done. And then we would always go to Frisch's, and I'd want to order a grilled cheese, and they would say, please order something more than a grilled cheese, but I didn't want to. I'm just super thankful that sewing machine was in my apartment that one day when I was bored, and I got it out, and I thought, let's try something. So that's the story behind my name. I hope you found it interesting.
Bye!
And not boring.
I mean, this video is pretty boring. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But please, subscribe. We need it. No, we don't. We already make enough money.
No, we're kind of in the pathetic category for subscribers and views.
But thanks for watching, and bye.